The Minutemen org is a group of action. We do things, we make things happen.
We're looking for people that want to participate and want to be active, that believe this is a solution.
We live within a representative democracy, a republic. And in a representative democracy, if you don't use your voice, you have no voice. Your fate is left in the hands of the people with the most power, the most coercion. We need to amplify our voices. There's some issues that have arose in our country with representation, and we're not represented anymore. Our voices have been silenced. Most people, they don't know how the political system works. They don't know how to participate in the political system. They don't know how to articulate their interests, aggregate their interests. They don't know how bills are made. They don't know the importance of protests and demonstrations. We will not only teach you this, but we're going to do this with you.
I want to talk a little bit about the importance of involvement. There's a lot of organizations out there that don't really require participation. They're not really based on participation. Some of these organizations just collect money and lobby for money, and then they push this money into whatever agenda that they want. Well, that hasn't done much to restore our freedom here in America. In America, we need the mindset of every executive office holder, every representative, every legislator, and every judge to have clearly in their mind that whatever decision they make is being held accountable by the United States citizens, a united America.
We are focused on educating citizens on their rights and freedoms and motivating them to participate in the political process. We are developing participators. That's what we're doing.
The difference in our organization and the reason that we will ultimately unite America under their rights and under freedom of democracy in the political process is because this fundamental freedom of being able to decide and self-govern ourselves outweighs any issue, any policy, any belief.
I believe people have become too complacent, too comfortable in their life, or even too afraid to use the most powerful weapon they have. And like Gabe stated earlier, that is your voice. Our fathers and our grandfathers fought for us to have a better future. And I think it's only right that we do the same thing for our children.
So the government is making it hard for us to use our rights. For instance, I was at a training session for a petition for a referendum yesterday, and former Assembly Member Tim Donnelly spoke about how we live in an age of technology, and our Secretary of State of California will not allow us to collect petitions electronically. So we have to arrange groups of people all throughout the state to go to social, to go through social gatherings and public marketplaces and things like that to collect these signatures. You know how hard that makes it to aggregate our interests? Our congressional members, our elected officials are making choices in the interest of their highest donors, their campaign contributors. They're not making decisions in our interest, the people. They're not worried about repercussions. Participation is at an all-time low in this country. So this is what we're going to do about that. We've established the Minutemen org. We're gonna through the initiative process, we're gonna file our own legislation to close these loopholes, to battle money, to battle coercion from these outside entities. We're going to establish legislation We're going to start a movement to back this legislation, to get everybody on the same page, to create awareness of what we're trying to do. We're going to have a constant presence at events. We're going to develop street teams that recruit people and let them know, hey, there's the Minutemen org out there, and they're trying to fight for your rights. They're trying to educate you and motivate you, and they're going to teach you, and they're going to do it with you. We're all from different backgrounds, have different beliefs, but we're all citizens, and we have to create a balance within the system. So we're going to go out and we're going to build our numbers constantly. We're going to be at events. We're going to be everywhere we can, handing out flyers, and there's going to be regular meetings. There's going to be demonstrations. There's going to be protests.
What we've been talking about today isn't some idea that came up off the top of our heads. This is something that everybody's feeling. Everybody's experiencing it. Less and less people are voting. Legislators are becoming more and more brave in going against what people represent.
See, knowledge is contagious. You start talking to people about things, and their wheels start turning, and it spreads. And what I can say from my experience so far is that there's a common consensus that everybody is unhappy with the choices the government's been making. They're unhappy with the inflation. They're unhappy with a whole host of things that's been going on within our government. There's a common distrust in our government. We are many people, but we are one nation. We are a group of action. We do things, we make things happen. It's important to use our voices.
This can't be done by wishful thinking. This can't be done by going onto forums and arguing or complaining about the frustrations you have. You've got to put yourselves on the line.
So does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we going to get involved with any specific issues?
The Minutemen organization we're specifically focused on participation. We're a group of many different types of people with all kinds of different beliefs, and we just want to arm them with the knowledge they need of how to go about aggregating those interests, doing something about those beliefs, and changing however they see fit. We just want them to know how to go about doing it. We're specifically focused on educating them and motivating them to participate in whatever means that they see necessary. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
The only way that the Minutemen organization will be successful, like Gabe mentioned earlier, is that it must be a group of action. It must be a group that is willing to take time out of their lives to make a difference and to do the steps necessary in order to be successful and fix our broken system. So, how do you become a Minuteman? The qualifications are pretty simple. You must be willing to take action in the political process. You must be willing to educate others in the political process. You must be willing to participate wherever your talents allow. We've talked about street teams, we've talked about initiatives, we've talked about protests. Not everybody can do these things, but everybody does have something to bring to the table. There are people that are networkers. There are people that are artists. There are people that are resource gatherers. There's people that can make forms. Everybody has a talent. All you have to do is be willing to share that talent for a cause that is far greater than anything that we're experiencing here in America today. And that is restoring a voice back to the people. the people that we need in the group are already out there. They're already fed up. They're already ready to do something. All they're doing is looking and waiting for a way to do it. We are that way to do it. So all that needs to be done is to direct those people to us, and we'll take care of the rest.